Sagittarius. This is your January 2025 soul story if you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign. This is your reading for the month ahead. So welcome to this new year and welcome to my channel. It's Romy here. We're going to open up this month with the energy of the Ace of Cups. You know, there's something about January and an experience that kind of wasn't meant to be, something that happened that definitely wasn't planned, and perhaps you not necessarily, you know, would have asked for or even wanted. And yet when it does, it feels like it's the exact thing that you needed. And you know, we can have dreams that have been with us for a really long time, but sometimes we go through those times when we birth a new dream, and there's nothing that feels better than that. You know, the realization that there's something fresh and something different to be considered and to be inspired by. And I think in the early part of January, this is something that I see landing for you. Your Ace of Cups brings in beautiful new energy to work with. It's also a reminder that some soul tending is definitely required. You know, we have this stoic Capricorn energy helping to level and, you know, ground our energy, but we also have a lot of water showing up that's bringing this sort of increased sensitivity. You may still have a little bit of that anxiety hangover from the excess or the overwhelm of the season. And on the 2nd, we've got asteroid goddess Vesta moving into Scorpio. She's holding space, this sacred inner flame that she's the custodian of, for powerful transformative healing. We also have Venus shifting into Pisces, and I think this is also holding space for the birth of this new dream that I see arriving for you through the course of January. And then of course we see Mars retrograde currently in Leo, then shifting sign into Cancer on the 6th of the month. Now the sensitivity can get a little bit like everyone's walking on eggshells. There can be somewhat of an indirect energy that makes it difficult for people to really fess up how they're feeling, although you can certainly feel the vibe and the energy. But independently, it can be a super beautiful time to work with that and really direct inwards to think about the way in which you've been emotionally handling situations, where there's some healing that can take place there. And in your review, you know, also crediting yourself for, you know, the ways in which you've grown and how you've shifted and changed your attitude and your approach to things, right? So as we build up to this full moon in Cancer on the 13th of the month, King of Cups energy coming through here, it's self-alignment, it's self-respect, it's self-advocacy that's leading to the type of reciprocity that actually you want and that you deserve. You've got to deploy the maturity, the emotional maturity and wisdom that has been supporting you in this past season of change, right? Now, the water feels a little bit choppy there. This is a reminder, like I said, this overly sensitive experience in the first part of January. And, you know, you're going to have to maybe allow some things, some conversations, some people's energy, some projection to just kind of move right through you, you know, particularly if you're an empathic, sensitive soul that seems to sort of lean in and feel a lot of what is going on, you know, collectively within your own dynamic and group family situations. Just allow that, you know, that ship is passing right through her and she's holding on to the thing that matters most to her, the thing that has value to her, and she's protecting it and keeping it safe. And perhaps there's something about the need to do that in the early part of January as well. You know, maybe just being mindful and aware that actually it's not necessarily like the perfect or the right time to be able to share something specific, especially if you are birthing this new dream. You know how people can like to rain on the parade, or if they're not in a great place themselves, you know, they don't understand, or they try to distract or sort of dampen down your spirit or your energy in regards to something. You've got to keep checking in with yourself, Sagittarius, and building from the inside out, it feels, through the month of January. And, you know, when you arrive at that full moon in Cancer, there's something that you're really profoundly ready to say, okay, I'm done. And it sort of feels like it's quite matter of fact. You know, it almost feels like your tolerance completely evaporated overnight with regards to something, and there's not even any drama with it. It just feels like you're at this place where you're like, no, I'm just not accepting it anymore. The Four of Cups just sort of suggests it doesn't matter, what anybody tries to put in front of you or tries to persuade you otherwise. I think you're just really clear, the mastery of that king and the sort of Ace of Cups that wants to fill your own cup and be nurtured and nourished and inspired by the things that are, authentic and bring about a sense of integrity for you in your pathway, really are helping you formulate like what you now think about certain things that you've put up with for too long, or just something that you've massively outgrown. So the full moon in Cancer feels really notable in regards to that, and there's an emotional promise I feel like you make to yourself. There can be, if you allow it, these slow, certain, and really empowered steps in Capricorn energy. No rush, just seeing how you feel, seeing how you riff and how you align with like the new sort of frequency that's showing up in 2025. And remember, this Capricorn energy is also about second house for you. So you're really leaning into the value of things, what it's worth to you, how valuable you feel yourself, the things that you're prioritizing, where you're investing in your energy. So there's a new confidence that I think is also, there to be tapped into. And it's about knowing that you're where you need to be to get to where you want to be. Okay. Now, I do think that there's some pretty big changes set to happen in the month of January for you. And one of the things I think that's going to end up doing is making you think twice about something, Sagittarius. And, we've got Emperor energy coming in here, and he's very strategic, right? But in this depiction, he's also pulling the strings, like the puppet master here. Now, you may feel that somebody is, inadvertently trying to control the narrative or control the dynamic, or is being a bit overbearing or dominant. And it may be that, you have to sort of take a step back and go, actually, what? Is this course of action? Is this choice I'm about to make? Is this commitment I'm about to sign up to really right for me? Not just in the here and the now, but, how am I going to feel afterwards? How am I going to feel, a few weeks or months down the line? So this thinking twice, I think, is going to be incredibly important, because it opens up almost like this curveball moment that happens through the month, where I think that, you're ready to sort of take back the reins or take back control, and that sort of helps support your confidence. So it's almost by being presented with a choice that all of a sudden you realize, like, I'm not sure I want this. It sort of demands that you then kind of step up in your own ability to think, well, okay, that means, if I don't want this, that means I've got to go do this, or I've got to find a way, so there's something about how it kind of triggers you, but in a positive light, okay? I think you do have a drive, there's a cardinal initiatory energy with the Emperor, and I do think you've got a drive that's there. Now, the drive to succeed doesn't always have to be going at 100%, depending on the season that we're in. It might be asking you for something different to support it. It might be that you need rest because you need the energy levels for the times when you do have to take really strong steps and action. Eight of Wands to me suggests that it's about having the conversations, having the communication, allowing the information to flow, seeking out the sources of the things that are going to be important in helping you to succeed in the area that you want to, right? You got to be able to see that this is a powerful preparation month for you in many regards. And I think that some of the conversations that you're set to have are really illuminating, in the positive sense, because you're getting access or being given insight into something that's going to be valuable for you and help you know how you want to address or approach something, especially to do it in a way that maybe you can learn from others where it was a bit more challenging for them, or learn by their mistakes. But also that I really see that there's going to be this opportunity for you to go, that's not what I want. It's a no from me. It just, and it's just so, like, your body's just telling you, and it's an unequivocal, like, I just see you in this place of you're just, and as soon as you announce it, as soon as you express it, as soon as you say it, there's just this lightness that feels like it comes over you. And, you're moving into then Aquarian energy from the 19th, third house, and it's like, okay, so what happens next? Now, there's maybe a need to make some short-term plans based on some of the realizations and decisions that you're now making. And I think you got to the end of the year still in that, maybe a little bit of that void space where you're like, I'm not really sure what happens next. So as January starts to fill in some of the details, you've got this fluidity in the planning and the strategy, you know, to be able to make adjustments and to adapt to things sort of spontaneously. And I think that is a really important energy to kind of cultivate actually throughout 2025, because I think there'll be a continuing fast progressive pace, and you're not going to want to get too fixed or have too high expectations on how something needs to happen or it needs to flow. There's this cardinal energy again. There's this drive to succeed that I'm talking about. It's there. It's not going anywhere. Even if you're like, Romy, I'm so not feeling it, that's okay. Just let January be what it needs to be to support where you're at. But this is there under the surface. There's a current of energy that's still flowing and still helping and ensuring that you are moving in the direction that you're supposed to, okay? Now, the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th does ask you something. It feels like, you know, where are you at? Are you here? Are you on board, or are you not? So there's this sort of proposition perhaps that you might feel in and around that time. It could feel something that's a little bit like crazy or a little bit out there, you know. We've got Uranus going direct in Taurus on the 30th, so it's influencing that new moon. We're also welcoming the lunar year of the wood snake, right? So this beautiful Kundalini energy that's helping you to shed a skin and sort of bringing in a fresh energy to contemplate and to work with. And we also have beautiful sun trining Jupiter on the 30th with that surprise, maybe surprise announcement or surprise scenarios that unfold. Now, the thing I do need to say is, you know, you want to be mindful. Around the 21st, we've got Pluto in Aquarius now, of course, making aspects, having a cosmic conversation with the sun. This Pluto Cazimi at 1 degree, you know, it's a bit triggering. It's asking something of you. It wants to really show you where you need to lean into something that's maybe a bit more uncomfortable or difficult to accept, or to kind of acknowledge about where you are or what's going on for you. And, you know, if you can sort of keep your eyes wide open and look directly towards it, and it will, you know, show itself quite clearly. Have no doubt in that, depending on, you know, the situation that's unfolding around you. It will hold the themes of this in terms of what needs to be worked on. But if you can look directly into the eyes of this, I feel like you're also on a direct path to be able to sort of use that shadow experience as a gateway into liberation, and allowing more light into your pathway. And again, that bringing about this confidence that's just like, I really trust in this. You know, it's not easy. You know, it's not gonna be easy from this point forth. I think we're all well aware of that, right? The intensity continues, but that doesn't mean to say that we can't navigate these challenges and we can't still feel deeply fulfilled, find great joy, and be consistently inspired. And like I say, birth these new dreams that I feel are showing up for you through the course of this month. So, you know, be brave and sort of allow these things to help shape you, because that's what they're here for. You know, that's what it's about. We have a lot of sparks flying as well. Look out on the 25th for Venus trining with Mars. And along with Venus in Pisces, the full moon in Cancer, that Ace of Cups for you, King of Cups, you know, there could be some really romantic overtones showing up for Sagittarius in the month of January, if that's where your focus and your priority is. I feel like you can make some real progress and perhaps explore something that, again, you wouldn't have necessarily considered would have been your thing or your type or your vibe. This is a month where I do see that you might surprise yourself a little bit. Now, if you are new to the channel, the last 3 cards we're going to look at in the extended reading, you can find the link in the comment and description box underneath, Sagittarius. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these cards, see the direction that we'll take this. We've got 8 of Swords. We've also got the King of Swords showing up here. We've got the energy of the Sun and the Page of Swords. Now, you can check out over on my website, romywiser.com, all my sacred titles, right? We've got my Life Soul Vision Oracle deck. We've got my new journal, which has been shipping out all through the season. Thank you for your feedback if you are one of the lovely clients that purchased, and I hope you're enjoying it. This is the soul companion you need this year. You know, it's the support system that I can offer you by way of, you know, these 3 titles, my Moon Musings book, deck and journal, to really help you to feel and lean into your own spiritual journey and just realize how far you've come, how much you know, and the tools that you have at, you know, your disposal to be able to help you, you know, with whatever you're coming up against and whatever you're navigating at this time, right? A lot of kings coming through in this read for you. Okay, let's have a look at some oracles for January. So this is my own deck. The decks are always listed below, right? And over on romywiser.com, you're also going to find ways to work with me. My Sacred Soul support for the month of January. We're going to be looking at a pre-paving for 2025. Also a beautiful full moon release, emotional alchemy, soul journey. So be sure to check them out. Okay, crown energy. Got waves crash and stars fall. Right, let's look at a final oracle, unicorn oracle for Sagittarius for the month of January. What do we have for you? We've got Not a Peacock Beauty. Okay, we'll explore this in your extended reading. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you so much. Have a beautiful month. Take good care of yourself. See you again soon.